Well, it's holiday season, so it's time for us to get our holiday action on and make some decorations for the house. And I thought there was no better way to do that than to work with some of the Carolina Sapphire, which is one of my favorite evergreens from our friends at FernTrust. Carolina Sapphire, I have it in a wreath and I've also got it in a bucket here. The thing I love about the Carolina Sapphire is that it has a wonderful bluish coloration to it. It's kind of a aqua tealy sort of color. It has a wonderful fragrance, and look at how wispy and artistic it is. I think that that's something that's pretty fun about it as well, is that it's a really fun way for us to celebrate the holidays. And I just love the way that it looks, and it grows great in Seville, Florida. FernTrust is located in the fern capital of the world, where it is the perfect place to grow foliages. They're just above the citrus bubble, and that's what all of those foliages need. And so that's where they grow their fabulous foliage. Over 127 different varieties of foliage that they grow. And all of the foliages are treated with their fern cool process, which means that they're going to last even longer for you. And you can do all kinds of custom stuff with them too. Just contact my friend Jana, Jana, at FernTrust.com. And she can tell you about garlands. She can tell you about wreaths. This is the Carolina Sapphire Wreath, and we're going to decorate it today. We could also use it as a centerpiece on a table and maybe put a hurricane lamp in the middle. That would be a great idea as well. But we're going to put a ribbon on it today, one of my favorite ribbons from Reliant. But first, we're going to make a little Christmas centerpiece, and then we're going to make a couple of other fun centerpieces that you can make with your kids too. And I think it's really important that we get everybody involved in the holidays. And so I've got another fun trick. It's something that I shared on P.L. Smith's Garden Home, and you can also catch it on one of my playlists also. But I've never done it with Carolina Sapphire, so we're going to use Carolina Sapphire today. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with this great little red bucket. You might have some container that you love for the holidays. A red bucket just brings in that red coloration for us. Maybe you want to use a white one, a silver one, whatever you want to use, whatever works for you. Inside, I have 2 blocks of midnight foam. It was actually 1 block I cut in half. I soaked it in flower nutrient water in my Chrysler Professional 3. And now I'm putting those soaked foams. I have 1 down inside. I'm going to put another one on top. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're also going to be able to fill this up with water. And that's the thing that we want to do is look, I have a great area for water reservoir down inside there. So there can be plenty of water surrounding my foam all the time, because even my Christmas evergreens are going to drink a lot. Okay. And so we want to do that. The first thing that we're going to do actually though is bevel the sides of the foam, which is a trick I always do. I cut off the side of the foam, just a little 45-degree angle on all sides of that block of foam. And just like that, zip through there with my knife. I do it after it's soaked. You could do it before if you wanted to, but now I know exactly where it's going to sit. It's easier for me to make an arrangement when I have surface area that's rounded rather than a point like that, you know? So if I have a right angle, how would I do this? Let's see, a right angle like that. It's harder for me to stick in. I either got to go in the top or in the side. This way I've got a bevel, and so I can go in the side or here, all the way around. Okay, so simple rule, really simple trick, just always bevel the foam. So we're going to be using our dram cutters today. I'm going to use my bypass cutter, and I also have my compact pruner on hand in case I need that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start with this, and I'm going to show you, we've got 1 stem here. I'm going to start with 1 piece, and look at how I let that drape over the side. I'm going to cut, and I'm cutting in between the branches here so that I start to get more out of my 1 piece. Look at, I've already gotten 4 pieces with just that one. And here's the 5th piece. Here's 1 more piece right here. I'm going to get that right there. Okay. I'm going to grab another piece. And since I started on this side and I've got that drape coming out this side, I'm going to put 1 more up here. And again, look at, I'm going to get cut there. So now I've got 3 pieces easily for my arrangement. I'm going to use 1 more. Okay. I'm going to run this one a little bit further out this side. Look at, I love that angle that we get. Back here. and on this side. Okay, look at that. 3 pieces, and I've got a big arrangement already started. Okay, pretty easy. Now what I'm going to do is, actually I want to add a couple more pieces. I'm probably going to add 2 more pieces, but I'm going to add those 2 after I add my accessories to this. I was talking to Kel the other day, and he was just saying to me that, he said, I know that you always talk about that topping thing. And he said, you're the only person I ever hear of that talks about the topping on an arrangement. It's kind of like the topping on a sundae, or the topping on your ice cream, or the topping you put on a cake. And I think that that's important. And he said, you need to talk more about that topping, because I think it's a really fun, functional way for people to understand how you're adding things. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to add some pine cones, and we're also going to add some ornaments. I've taken my ornaments and I've twisted them into a set of 3 like this, okay? Another set of 3 like this, and then a set of 2. Because I don't like to do things even, okay? So I'm going to have, a set of 3, a set of 3, and a set of 2. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pine cones. You might have different size pine cones, different colored ornaments, different colored containers. This concept will work any way you want it to work. Okay, you can use foam down inside something. You can use different types of foliage. Say you want to do this with silver fir, or you want to do it with noble, or you want to do it with princess pine. You can use any of the techniques we've done here today with any type of foliage that you want. So I think it's real important for you just to think about, the project you want to create, because I want to see it too. Okay, remember, when you make something, send me a picture. j@ubloom.com. The letter J at ubloom.com, and send it to me so I can see a picture. Or if you share it online on social media, tag me, tag Jay Schwanke or Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom, so that I can see what you've created, because I want to see what you've done. On Instagram, we are ubloom. On Facebook, Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom. So those 2 places, we love to do that. Or you can tweet it at us too, because I have a Twitter account too. So there's that. But anyway, we're going to work with this today, and we're going to start with these pine cones. Now, because I haven't filled everything in yet, I can tuck these down in towards the center of my bouquet. So see, I've got 2 and 2, 2 on this side, 2 on that side. Okay, now I'm going to add a couple of my ornaments. 1 on this side. Look at how that looks. I'm going to do 2 up here towards the top, and I'm going to do another 3 back here. Okay, and I'm just sticking that wire down into it. Now, see, look at how that one dangles over the edge a little bit. This one's over here, this one's on top. Okay, how pretty is that, right? It's already coming together. If you wanted to add ribbon, you could add ribbon too. Today, I'm not going to add any ribbon, but you certainly could. Please feel free to do that. But now I'm going to come back in before I add my last 2 pine cones, and I'm going to add a little bit of that topping, okay? And so what we're doing is we're just going in between where I have holes, and I'm filling in the holes that I see inside my bouquet, okay? And it's just a fast, easy way for us to, look at this. That's going to fill in that center a whole lot. And see, now those ornaments, those 2 ornaments on this side over here, kind of disappeared on your side, but look at them over here. Now they've got that backing of greenery by them. That's pretty cool. Okay, and again, we're going to add 1 more piece up there. See, look at, I made it a little bit taller. And again, if you don't like where you put something, you can take it out and add it over again. Now look at those little scraps that are left. That's kind of pretty, right? So let's hold on to those scraps for our other project, because I want to show you something fun that you can do with those. So we'll finish up this one first. All right. So now we've got our 2 other pine cones. I want to tuck 1 there. I want to tuck 1 on top here, because I don't want them to get buried. So that's why they go in as that topping, right? That topping that fits down inside there. But now I've got a great little centerpiece, something that can sit on the coffee table. This could also go outside, right? It could sit on your front porch. That would be fun. In the winter here, we get freezing temperatures. So I would want to maybe probably choose a different evergreen if we were going to go out into my bitter 1 or 2 degrees below zero. That would not be a good place for the Carolina Sapphire, but it would be a great place for noble fir or for Douglas fir or something like that too. So my last step, always with my arrangement, is I'm going to take my Kreisel Professional Glory and I'm going to mist it. And you're noticing I'm misting the ornaments too. I'm misting the pine cones. I'm misting everything with this, because what this anti-transparent Kreisel Professional Glory is going to do is it's going to seal in the molecular structure of that foliage, and it's going to prevent it from evaporating faster. It's just like the anti-transparents we would use on our holly outside or evergreen bushes in our yard, okay? If I want to, I can put it on my wreath too. It's going to help my wreath last longer. So then the question you have, and the answer is yes, is can I use this on my Christmas tree? Absolutely, positively. When I have a fresh Christmas tree, I get it in ahead of time, and I use 2 of these, and I spray everything once, I let it dry, I go back and I spray it again, and I let it dry. It takes about 3 or 4 hours for it to dry, okay? But then I've cut my tree, it's in a bucket, it's taking up water, and then I'm sealing it with my Kreisel Professional Glory before I put my lights on and my decorations on so that it will last longer, okay? Really, really important for you to remember to do that. So it's a great way to use that product as well. So we'll set our little guy back here so that we can have him back there for right now. And now we're going to use this to create something else. So I promised you we would do something fun, right? That's something we can do with kids. Here's a little gold mint julep cup. And again, what I'm going to do is, you'll see my foam is up above the top. And a lot of people think that this project, I should have a cone. I don't really need a cone, but you could use a cone of foam if you wanted to. That would be okay. All right, but what I'm going to do with this, and this is something fun that you can do with the kids. I love it. And again, it's going to use these scraps that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of Carolina Sapphire, and this is a nice, pretty straight one like that. I am going to stick it right down into the foam in the center, okay? So that is, now if we were talking about the elements and principles of design, this is our vertical axis, our central vertical axis of the arrangement. And what we know about Christmas trees, evergreens, those types of things that grow it in our yard is that they have apical dominance, okay? Apical dominance. And so with that apical dominance, that's what shapes them like a Christmas tree, that apical dominance. Because what it means is that that center vertical axis is going to grow taller, and then things are going to graduate down the sides. So we are making a miniature Christmas tree. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to just keep track of that apical dominance, and we are going to arrange our stems so that we create a little mini Christmas tree. Okay, super fun. Now, what we need to be careful is we're going to strip the stems of this so that when we stick it in, it stays right where we put it. And that's the reason that we're using flour foam, is because that flour foam is going to allow us to strategically place all of these stems. Now, look, I'm going to have a little piece like that. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use it towards the bottom to build up. So I'm cutting this piece in half, okay? I've got one that's kind of pointy. I've got one that's like that. That one like that. Then we're going to slip in there. The other side, okay, look, I got to make sure I peel those off so that I can strategically put it in exactly the right spot. Super important that I do that. And so now I'm making my little Christmas tree shape. Now, see where I told you that some people think they need a cone to do this because they think that that would make it easier because you could kind of follow the shape of the foam. That's okay, but I think we can also do it with just a little block of foam like we're doing right here, you know, and that's going to be able to help us get it the right shape and the right form. See, so now, can you imagine how fun this would be to do with kids? I think it'd be great because everybody could have their own little project and they could be making their little tree and their little shape so that it's starting to all come together. And everybody's would be different. Each person could decorate theirs in a different way. When I was a kid, I would always pester my parents to have a Christmas tree of my own in the room. And they would indulge me many times and let me put my own Christmas tree in my room. And I would get to pick out the way I wanted to decorate it. And it would be so fun. This is a great way to have that little decoration in your home or in a special spot. Maybe you want one in your office, right? And you could have it in the office and you could decorate it the way you wanted to. Or you could put it in your bathroom, or you could put it in your bedroom, or you could put it in the den, or you could put it anywhere. And the other thing about this, as I'm cutting this, there's just this wonderful Christmas evergreen smell. And it's just so fun to have that little mini Christmas tree. And see all those little pieces and parts that I'm putting in there? I've used one whole stem and then another one. So I've used just about 2 stems here to get that little Christmas tree shape. So fun, right? And then, of course, we could decorate it. We could put little pine cones on it if we wanted to. We could put little ornaments on it. You can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you the idea today so that you can run with it. Now I've got a whole bunch of little tiny scraps, but at least I didn't throw that big branch away because I made my little Christmas tree with it. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's make one that's a little bit bigger. Okay, because you're also, okay, well, tiny one, fine. Okay, let's start with a bigger size. And let's take, I'm going to look for a piece of, oh, look at this one's going to be perfect. Look, that already starts to look like a Christmas tree top right there. And so we're going to stick that down in. That's my central vertical axis. Down inside here, I have a piece of flower foam. Again, I have the Oasis Midnight Foam. And again, I love it because it's black. And that black coloration doesn't show up. I don't see it like I see the other pieces. And so I can start to shape and form whatever size tree I want. And you know what? If I wanted this to be more like a little Charlie Brown tree, I could do that. I wouldn't have to add as many things in. I could make it maybe a little bit more sparse. Maybe I want to add one big ornament on it and pull it to the side. I could do that if I wanted to too. Sure, anything goes. That's the best part about this, is that we get to choose and do whatever we want that makes us happy for the holidays. One of the things I always stress with people is the first person you have to please is yourself. First person you got to please is yourself. Okay? And so if you're happy with it, then, that's half the battle. Again, too, remember, when you make something, and if you're going to make a little Christmas tree like this, you're going to do your little Christmas trees, send me a picture. I want to see what you're doing and how you're making it and how you decorated it and how you took this project and made it your own. That's the best thing about arranging with flowers. Also, same health and wellness benefits go along with this. That goes along with any other time we're arranging our flowers. When we're creating something like this, we are releasing endorphins that are calming us down, making us more calm, more relaxed. Homes that have flowers in them have less arguments. Just having flowers around reduces stress. I know the holidays can get stressful sometimes. And so, I think that it's important that we're doing things to de-stress ourselves. So now I'm filling in around the base of this, just to make sure that I have that nice fullness that typically happens with a Christmas tree towards the base. I like thinking about the way that nature does things and how Mother Nature would be making a tree. And so I get to kind of play with that a little bit and act like this is a Mother Nature thing. I need one more nice big piece right here. See how that starts to make that all go up into one spot. And this one is going to help that too right there. People ask if I talk to myself when I arrange, and I do. It's just like, oh, you went in the perfect spot. I think that that's true. I just want to enjoy and relish every single minute that I'm arranging flowers. So see, look at our little Christmas tree. I got a little piece of branch showing right here. There he goes. Go on. Look at that. He's a little more Charlie Brown-esque, right? But I think with a few decorations, he would be really fun. And yeah, here's the other thing. I love this container. Look, it's from Accent Decor. It has little Christmas trees on the side. That's pretty fun. But I could do collections like that and have little collections around the house. That would be super fun. And so now let's take a peek at our wreath that we have back here. Okay, I love this. And you know what? Here's a fun thing that we could do with this. We could set this wreath on the table. You know, I was going to show you how to make a bow, but I've got another. I made a bow for the magnolia wreath. So go back and look at that. But I mean, look at how this blue helps that pick up on that. And you could put the bow at the top, or you could put the bow at the bottom. You could do whatever you wanted to do. But look at this. I think this is even more fun way to close out this video. We've taken this wreath. We can set it on the table. We can put a couple of these guys next to it, or even both of them in the center. And suddenly we're creating a little Christmas display. If you had kids and everybody made their wreath, you could dot them down either side of the table and have this be the centerpiece. Or you could put a hurricane candle in the middle of it. And then that becomes the centerpiece. So don't always think about a wreath just hanging on the wall or hanging on your door, but make it a centerpiece for the table too. I think it's another great way to do that. This Carolina Sapphire from FernTrust is just amazing. I just think it's wonderful. And I love the way that we've made a bigger tree, a little tree, that we have the wreaths. They make garlands out of this as well. Or if you have another thought of another foliage you want, make sure you contact my friend Jana, Jana, at FernTrust.com, and she'll be able to create any type of garland that you want, any length that you want. One time, go to my YouTube channel and check this out. And I think it's also on Facebook as well. When we did the Field to Vase dinner at FernTrust, they made me garlands that were 110 feet long. And they just brought the boxes out to the field, and somebody grabbed one end and we pulled them onto the table, and we had them running from one end of the table to the other. That's the cool stuff that they do at FernTrust. But look for that video because it's really fun. But we just zing out of the box onto the table, and decorations were done. That's what FernTrust does, is they help you do that. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope you enjoyed our little mini Christmas trees that we did, and our idea for using the wreath on a table as a centerpiece, as well as hanging it on the door. Again, the Carolina Sapphire smells delightful. Smells just like Christmas in here now. So that's perfect. So from our friends at FernTrust, until next time, keep having fun with flowers.